101 with your host, Dr. Blizzy. And we have a special gentleman who has a special program, and we're going to bring him into the discussion right after this video clip.
I love the program.
Why?
I love the program because it gave children an opportunity to engage in healthy learning, but they were also learning lifelong skills. Like, you had speakers coming in, and every speaker brought something unique to the table that was always very engaging, but also the kids just learned about life, you know? So I like that part about it the most.
I like that you get to challenge other people and to see you get to improve more on playing chess, because in the future there's tournaments that you can improve on, and you can win trophies and other stuff like that.
I like the people in it because the people are really encouraging. So even if you don't really know how to play, like me, it was easier for me to learn with encouraging people surrounding me. I actually have two favorite pieces.
Okay.
The bishop and the pawn.
Okay. And why do you like the pawns?
I like the pawn because it's the most violent piece. And I basically use it a lot. I'm really good at using pawns. That's why I like it. And I'm good with bishops too.
Okay. Will you be taking part in the program next year?
So that is the Black Knight program. It is a chess mentoring program. The founder, the director, and organizer of that program is a gentleman who is passionate about chess, but passionate about young people at the same time. He is passionate about people, and he wants to spread his message of chess and life to the world. And that gentleman is Mr. Shaka Fair. How are you, my brother? Thank you.
I'm doing great.
For being on the Classroom Hip Hop 101. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So you have this, I don't want to say program, because I think that's limiting. I want to say you have a message. And through chess, you're spreading a deeper message. But tell us what this Black Knight program, this chess mentoring program is about. And I know you're working with schools in New York City, because I'd like to get a little bit of background about that.
Okay. Well, the program is a program that really speaks to the mentality of our youth at this point in time. So what we do is we teach the game of life through the game of chess.
Okay.
So we have various things that we teach the youth in terms of their mentality for learning and winning in the game of life. So one of the cornerstones of the program is we look and we only seek for effort. We don't look for correct and incorrect. You know, notice I didn't say right and wrong, because those are value judgments. But we make sure that our youth just focus on effort. Because if you continue to focus on effort, eventually you'll gain the success that you're looking for in any endeavor in which that you pursue. So we do various things where we try to bring fun to it. You know, so one of the things that the children really love is I have an approach where, you know, I ask them a question and I get an opportunity to hear their feedback. And the way that I do that is, first off, I'm a little bit more animated inside my my sessions. So
okay.
I would change voices. I would do various things in which to grab the students. So I'll ask them, how does the knight move? The knight to F3. Thumbs up, thumbs down. The answer is thumbs up. And I always congratulate them on good effort, because that's the cornerstone of what we want, is we want effort. Not necessarily whether they have the right answer or they don't have the right answer, because in a classroom situation, if they have the right answer, they'll be jumping up out their seats saying, ooh, 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 choose me, choose me. But if they don't have the answer and you call on them, you're going to get you're going to get a reaction that you may not be expecting.
You know, I think about your program, right? And I had this thought when I was coming in today, that there's a big discussion in education about social and emotional trauma. And I know that you are a licensed social worker.
Correct.
And you work within schools.
Yes.
Now, chess is you said, the game of life.
Yes.
And the game of chess. You bring those two together. And I was thinking that a lot of times when I see young people, right, and they're experiencing their emotions, right, no one is teaching them the strategy of how to work through that emotion to continue to be successful, right? And I was just wondering how you marry those two together, that you're teaching chess, you're teaching the strategy. How do you help them overcome trauma or manage their emotions through taking a strategic mindset?
Well, that goes squarely into what we were talking about in terms of it being a mentality. Mm-hmm. One of the lessons that I taught recently was the difference between stress and pressure. Because once you introduce the clock to the game of chess, now you introduce pressure. Mm-hmm. But if you are successfully able to keep the pressure outside, then you'd be able to still stop and think and make your moves regardless as to what the time says or the pressure is. Pressure becomes stress when you let it inside and you start thinking about things that can harm you. Mm-hmm. You know, you start thinking about, oh, I'm going to lose the game, or you start thinking in a catastrophic fashion about yourself, and you stop thinking strategically, you stop looking at the situation, you let basically another situation become your reality.
So, do the students get that concept of stress versus pressure? Do they when you introduce these concepts to them, are they receptive, and how are they applying it to the actual game itself?
Well, I think they certainly are getting the lesson. With one particular young man, he usually knows the answers to the questions that are asked, but when you call on him, he feels the pressure of the situation and feels like he has to get the answer right and has to be correct. So that usually leads to him stuttering and stammering. So, I have to tell him, stop. That attitude is not welcomed here. Stop, take your time, compose yourself. You have all of the time in the world. You don't have to succumb to the pressure outside yourself and internalize that. That's when it becomes stress. But if you stop and you compose yourself and you think about exactly what it is that you're trying to say and you concentrate, then you get an opportunity to do things at your own pace. And once you do things at your own pace as opposed to someone else's pace, now you can relax.
So these are really life lessons, because I'm sitting here thinking about that in so many different scenarios, right? Students get into physical confrontation because they're dealing with stress versus pressure.
Yes.
They don't know how to slow down, stop, think, all these different things that you're saying. Same thing with test taking. Same thing with going out for a sports team and getting into a mental block when it comes to physical activities. You can apply this to so many different aspects of life. What I want to know from you is why. Why is chess so important to you? And then I want to know what. This is a twofold question.
Okay.
Why is chess important to you, and what do you want to accomplish with this Black Knight program?
Okay. Chess is, to me, the game that is not a game. It's the most serious game there is. But you can also have fun with it. To quote Keith Murray, he said,
this is the Classroom Hip Hop 101. Quote Keith Murray, sir.
He says, I represent intellectual violence. So this can now be a vehicle or a medium for whatever the feelings are a person may have to play out in a positive manner. Because we all have these feelings. We all have feelings of anger. We have feelings of frustration, or whatever the case may be. And those emotions are not bad in themselves. It's what you do with those emotions.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I find is that a lot of the students don't have the language to speak about what it is that they're feeling, nor do they have a vehicle in which to put those feelings into. So chess is very important to me also because it serves as a tangible manifestation of exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So if I talk to a student and tell them, listen, it's very important for you to pay attention. It's important for you to plan. To this student, these things mean nothing. There's no place to put these things. There's no backdrop for them. Now, we know these lessons because we went to the school of hard knocks and we found these things out ourselves.
Exactly.
So the experience was the backdrop. For some of these students, there is no backdrop. So you're talking to them and it's going in one ear and coming out the other. But in chess, if I tell you you have to concentrate, you have to think, and I take a piece, and you see your pieces leaving the board, that's something now that provides a context for exactly what it is that I'm saying, and it serves as a tangible manifestation. So you see your pieces leaving the board, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I might need to stop and think here. I might need to concentrate. I might need to plan. So
I think that what you're doing is teaching them how to discipline themselves so that they can be successful in life and how to think through things rather than to react through things. The what is what I want to know. I want to know, what are you going to do with this mission of yours? I was speaking to you off camera, and I know you said you have a goal to reach a certain amount of people through chess. I'd like to hear more about that.
Well, I mean, this is going to be a worldwide program. One beautiful adage says, I can't do everything, but I can do something. This is my opportunity to do something and to also provide to others the opportunity to do something. The mission of the organization is to restore the elders of the community to their place of greatness. Doesn't really speak to the children, but that's the vehicle in which we have to do that. So in me setting up this program, I was trying to enlist the assistance of others to come in and impart into these children. But one of the complications that I came across was commitment. A lot of people had the passion, but they didn't have the commitment. They didn't want to disappoint children because they've seen exactly how important that work is. So, but they still wanted to do something. So what I felt is I had to provide a structure in which everybody can do something in. Because everybody is looking to give back in their own way, but some people may not be able to do that. So if I have speakers come in and impart to these students exactly what it is that they've gone through and how they've maneuvered, that's very important. But even more important than what it is that they say is what the children see. When they see these professionals representing such a huge cross-section in terms of occupation, it allows them to see a possibility that most schools don't usually introduce. Most schools usually introduce the same traditional doctors, lawyers, or whatever the case may be. But when you talk to young males about what they want to be, if they're sports oriented, you would hear NFL, NBA, and things of those natures. But there's a whole bunch of other fields in between all of those that each person can fit into. Every single person was born with their own special gifts, and one can't look to the next person and judge themselves by that standard. So
this is just an opportunity to open up young people to possibilities, whether it be careers, whether it be life decisions, and what have you. You have this mission to reach 1 billion people through chess. And I believe through your passion, you will absolutely do that. For those of you who would like to get in touch with Mr. Shaka Fair, I know that he's in the process of doing some things. I'm not going to speak on those things. He will reveal it at the time that he feels it's important. But you can reach him. You can go to his IG. It's at Black Knight Program. I believe that is the same handle on Twitter. So you can reach out to him. You can find out about maybe how he can inspire your child or inspire someone in your family to be involved in a chess program or get involved in chess, which is really the strategy of life. We'd like to thank you for being our guest on the Classroom Hip Hop 101, and I wish you all the best, my brother.
Thank you.
So after this commercial break, we will be back with our close out, where I give my report card on schools or people within the school system. We'll be right back after this commercial break.